Welcome to the selfgrowth.com show. My name is David Riklan, and I'm the founder of selfgrowth.com. We have a phenomenal guest with us today, Don Miguel Ruiz, and we'll be talking about his new book, The Actor, How to Live an Authentic Life. And we'll be getting into it in some detail. Before we get started, for the few of you who don't know who Don Miguel Ruiz is, I'm going to take a couple of minutes and share some information about him. Don Miguel Ruiz is the international best-selling author of a series of books, including The Four Agreements, over a decade on the New York Times bestseller. And that's the first book that I remember reading from him. He's dedicated his life to sharing the wisdom of the ancient Toltec through his books, lectures, and journeys to sacred sites around the world. And of course, his newest book, The Actor, How to Live an Authentic Life. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Don Miguel, welcome to the show.
Well, it's an honor to be once again with you and to share myself with everyone who is listening to us and send them my love. And please send it to everyone that you know.
Will do. It's interesting because I mentioned earlier that I interviewed you about 12 years ago. And I tell people that you're one of the most sincere, authentic people that I've met and had the opportunity to speak with, who what I describe as someone who walks the talk, you know, and I really see you as that. And I want to jump right in. I know the title of your new book, and I'd like to focus on your new book today. It's intriguing, the title, The Actor, How to Live an Authentic Life. And the reason it's intriguing to me is typically when we think of someone as acting, we don't think of them as authentic, that it's two different things. So let's start with just the title of the book. Are we all actors? Let's start with that. And how do you balance that with authentic? So how'd you come about that?
Well, as you can see, every single human is an actor. They may not know that. They will not be maybe aware, but they're acting all the time. And the stage is ready for all of us. You know, at the moment that our mother find out that was pregnant, the whole stage was prepared for us to arrive to this wonderful story in our life. They was waiting the moment of our birth. Then when we was born, even without any awareness, everybody had the attention on us. We don't need it to act at all, but we was the center of the attention. When we grew up and we learned the language that we speak, now we start acting right away. We have great teachers at home. Our parents was acting all the time, our brothers and sisters, family. It was like a big comedy, a drama, whatever was happening around us. And we learned everything from them. Then this scenario started changing. We went to school and we have another group of actors, the other children, teachers, etc. But we was acting all the time. And but that time we have some fear, and also we was afraid of the opinions, afraid of rejection, etc. That with the point of view as an actor, we was afraid of the critics. It was critics all around us, and we was afraid to be rejected and wanted to be accepted. Then our acting starts changing. It starts shifting, trying to please all the critics around us. And we also learn to be a critic. We start criticizing everybody, right, but mainly with ourselves. We become the worst critic for ourselves. And on, we keep growing, learning, changes scenarios, changes group of actors. But without that awareness, we was losing our authenticity little by little until the point came when we master the acting of being ourselves or trying to please everybody because everybody tell us about us. And we create that image, and that's what we want to project to everybody. We want to be perceived in certain way, but deep inside we know it was not true, it was not real. And we didn't know that we was acting all the time. And it's important to understand this because the scenery is changing all the time. And when we become aware that we are actors, we also were aware that we are the ones who write the story of our life. We find out that we direct our life, that we write the script in the one we are the main character. And this creation of the script is every single day in every single moment. And we can see that we are a polyphacetic actors. We are completely different when we are at home, that when we are working or having fun. In every circumstance, we are completely different, and we don't even know that we are acting. When we talk about professional actors, they have a little advantage. They know they're performing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And they perform the same thing every day or every time that they go to the stage. And have the same fears with like us. They're afraid of what the people think about them, the critics. What they may not understand that when they leave the scenery and go back to the every moment in their life, they still acting, but then they don't know they're acting. Then when they're performing, repeating the same character, you know it's not really the character, but you make it real by using the experience of your life that you have. Then when we was born, we were completely authentic. And like I say, we was losing the authenticity little by little.
Oh.
And the moment comes when we know something is not right, but we don't really understand what is not right. Many times we don't like the way we perform, and we start hating the main character. This is common in a lot of people. They even can start hating themselves, and they try to act like somebody else and pretending to be somebody else in many ways because they reject themselves. I think this is extremely important because with that awareness, once we know that we are the ones who write the script, we can make a better script. If we make a better script for us, then our acting is also changing. And wherever we go, in any stage, we will adapt to the stage without resistance because we know we are acting. But we also understand that everyone around us, they are also acting, and they don't know they're acting. They have no idea. Then having a good group of actors with us, we can get whatever in life if we have those allies. If we don't play with disharmony, confrontations, etc., we really can create something much better. And I think this is important in this moment because all of a sudden the stage changed completely. With this pandemic, everything changed. We was used to have a stage that we were very comfortable. All of a sudden, there's restrictions. There's so many things we cannot do. We have to stay at home. We start being afraid to get close to people. Then the stage changed completely. I hear many people to say, we never gonna be normal again. Well, you know what? This is normal. Before the pandemic, there was normal. In the end of the last century, it was normal. In the 60s, was normal.
Right.
Everything is changing. Normal is also changing. As an actors, if we change as fast as the stage, we will be very comfortable in whatever circumstance life brings to us. Then if we see ourselves as an actor, wow, we have a big advantage because we know we're performing. And with all that awareness, we become more and more authentic until perhaps the day will come that we will be completely authentic. How do we know whether we are authentic? Well, we are more authentic when we no longer perform trying to be accepted by all those critics. When we do what we love to do, what we want to do, and especially with the main critic that we have inside of us.
Right.
That we don't have to be the way we learn to be. Because we have a big motivation that I don't know if we are or not aware of that. And the motivation is love itself. You know, when we grow up, we learn to love the same way that the other actors around us playing with love. They love with conditions, and we learn to love that way, which means I love you if you let me control you.
Right.
Or you love me if I let you control me.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's very conditional. And when we understand that point, we understand all the conflict that exists between humanity, between families, between nations. Then if we can see that unconditional love really exists, but we don't see it because we learn to love with conditions. And the worst part is that we learn to love ourselves the same way. I love myself if I can be what everybody else wants me to be. I will love myself if I become what I want to become. I like to be like this other actor or this other one, and we start comparing ourselves with others. No, you only can be you. You only can act like you. Because even pretending to be other actors, you're still acting in your point of view. You never will act like any other actor. Then if you're aware of that, your performance becomes better and better and better. And with awareness, you know you're acting. And you know that you're in a play that the entire planet is playing. 8 billion people, and everyone is an actor. Then I think that they can be helpful for anyone, especially, like I said before, right now, when all of a sudden they change the stage and we react as actors to all those changes. We can adapt and we can take advantage of that. It becomes better and better. Then with all that love, we can be so generous and start sharing with others what we receive. And also be grateful for all the help that is coming to us from wherever it's coming. Because I can say that love is that equilibrium between gratitude and generosity.
All right. You said a lot right now, and I want to unpack some of these things. You really shared a lot of information here. And let's start with some of the things you talked about. And the first thing you started to say when we're talking about actor, and I found this very interesting, is not only really are we the actors, but we're also kind of the authors or the writers, and we're the directors. So
Yes,
we're not only the actors of our life, but in addition to the actors, we're the writers and the directors. And for me, that's a powerful approach to looking at life. Because I know a lot of people think that life just pushes them in different directions. But the whole premise, I think, of this book, and it sounds like the series, is that we're in control. That since we're the actors, since we're the directors and the writers, we have complete control over who we are. We're creating who we are, and that in itself is an extremely powerful message. Is that the core message of the book and the series, that we have this ability?
yes, the series is the Mystery School.
Hmm.
It's a school that the university is the entire planet Earth, and the teacher is life itself. Life is teaching us and revealing to us everything, one thing after the other one, and it's expanding. And then we create a great knowledge. Anyway, acting is one of the schools in that university, in that mystery school. The other books that are coming is the myth. For example, we find out that everything in us is a myth, including the language that we speak. It's only true because we agree with the meaning of every word. Eros, love. We all are love, and we learn to love with conditions.
So,
Grief, about pain. We have a lot of lost. Every dream will end in a certain point. Then we can see in this pandemic right now, there's millions of people dying just for COVID.
right.
But not just for COVID. Every single day, they millions of people dying for different circumstances. You know, in certain point, I can be a little grateful with the COVID because in the past, the stage has been changing many times very dramatically. Like, for example, with war, Second World War, let's point an example. People kill people, not a COVID, not a disease, other disease.
Hmm.
They divide, they try to control each other, and they kill each other. They separate, they bring the hate, the anger. With the COVID, no. We humans, as humanity, we get together, and together we try to solve that. They put us together. Then something like that really push us to find ourselves what we really are, to see that humanity is only one being made by 8 billions of people, just like our body is made by billions of cells, and every cell can live out of the body, but together they create a physical body. Well, humanity is the same way. We all are humanity. Then we can see that these kind of problems, like a hurricane, earthquake,
Hmm.
any disaster, they put humans together, and together we create something beautiful instead of put us apart and start hating each other for something that is not really important, at least not for the individual.
Yeah, this is a powerful approach to looking at humanity, that we're all in this together. I I want to go back to one of the things you said, because I know this is an issue for me and many people. You talked a little bit about the fact that we always feel there's this critic, that everybody's a critic, that we're being judged all the time by our peers. And really two things. One is that we see everybody judging us, but this biggest critic is really ourselves, because we're constantly
Correct.
judging ourselves. And from what I'm hearing you say is that being authentic is being able to live your life not by what all these critics are saying, but how you really are. And is that a core part? And is this something that you teach us? Because I know this is a challenge. It's a challenge for me. I think a challenge for everybody, because we're always judging. Even when we're talking now, we're judging, all right, how are people going to perceive us? When I communicate, when I email, when I do anything, I think people are always thinking, how are we going to be judged? There's this critic, and we know people are judging us because we're judging people. So is this a kind of a key piece of your book in terms of how to deal with this critic? And what are some ideas that you have that you share? And I know you have a lot that you share in this book. And here's your book right now. I was going through it. I want to do a quick plug for you right now. If you know Don Miguel Ruiz, get his many books. This is his newest one, The Actor. It has a great way of looking not only at life, but of you changing your life. So back to the critic part.
Yes, we can see that the whole thing begins because we learn to live with conditions. This is the core of all these problems. Mhm. And because everybody love with condition, then they love us if we do what they want us to do. Then everybody have an opinion on us, and everybody's expecting for us to react to all of that. And as a reaction, we are afraid of what they're thinking about us. They will judge us as actors, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
You don't perform the way I want you to perform.
Right.
You should perform in this way, but another say, no, you should perform in this other way, and another, and another, and another. Then it's a kind of miracle that we put all that together and we create an image of ourselves who try to please everybody. But it's an image that we create about ourselves, and mainly to the main critic, to ourselves. But we just don't see that we are just performing. We are not authentic. We're pretending to be what we are not. And for that fear of being rejected, because that's how all of they learn how to love. They love me if I let them to control me. And then I focus my whole life trying to be accepted for all that people, including to that people inside our head or uncritic. When we have that awareness, and then we know that we are the one who's writing the script, we can change the script. And we know that we become more and more authentic when all those opinions are less and less important for us, and we decide to do what is best for ourselves, no longer to please other people. That you can say no when you want to say no, or yes when you want to say yes. That gives you a lot of personal power to be more and more authentic. And you know, because you feel good when you are doing or being in this way.
What I like about what you're saying is this is for me, a new way of looking at life relative to its focus and impact with love. That I never really gave a lot of thought to it, that all the love that we've gotten, even from when we're young, and all the love we give is conditional.
Yes.
And when you start seeing that love is conditional, including love, as you mentioned, you're giving yourself, you're providing when you love yourself for what you've done. And I think we all do this. We do something really good and we feel good about ourselves. We love ourselves more because we're happy with what we had just done. When you see the world from that perspective, that it's one of conditional love and how we've really developed based on that. It's a unique way of looking at the world. And when you look at it that way, it really opens your eyes to who you are. And I find that very interesting. Now, can you talk a little bit about, just to back up, so I get the importance of being authentic, and correct me if I'm wrong, but authentic is really being true to yourself instead of trying to create something that satisfies all the critics.
Exactly.
So that's being authentic. But that, as we know, is a very difficult thing to do because we're
Yes.
surrounded by critics all the time.
Mhm.
And I know you talk about this and you go into it in the book. Can you give us some idea on what we can do to kind of, I guess the best way of describing it is to put off the critics, or to find this core of who you really are versus just listening to the critics all the time? What's something that we can do in terms of a behavior, in terms of how we think? What's something that we can do?
Well, the first step is to be aware what you're doing. Be aware that yes, you've been acting all of your life. And all of your life you was acting just trying to be to please everybody else and leaving yourself for the last. That you've been sacrificing yourself for the opinion of other people. When you have that awareness, the moment comes that you will say, okay, this is enough. No more. From now on, I go first. I will try to please myself first, even they like it or not. If they don't like it, they will go away, but many of them will stay. And that's the people, the ones that I can play better, that I can trust more, because I don't have to please them and they don't have to please me. Then when you do that, you recover something very important that you lose long time ago. It is respect.
Right.
You respect yourself, but no longer sacrificing for somebody else. You don't sacrifice anymore. And that brings your generosity almost right away. You share it, you give it, and you accept it. That brings your gratitude. Someone do something for you, you accept it, you embrace it, and by doing that, you are giving the gift to the person who is giving you. You're giving the pleasure that they are giving something to you. And then you do something for them too, but not because you have to.
Right.
It's because you want to do it. It's completely different. It comes from your heart. Oh, I will help you.
I like what you started to say also about respect, because when you come from a position of focusing on yourself, you learn to respect yourself more, but I think other people will respect you more as well.
Definitely, yes. If they're taking advantage of you, they will stop doing it because now they know they cannot do that anymore because you don't allow them to do that anymore. If they take for granted that you're going to sacrifice yourself for them, they will stop doing that. And if they love you, they will stay with you and support you. And if not, then it's better for you not to have these people around you.
I love this whole concept in terms of developing an authentic life from the beginning. As I mentioned, the actor, director, you're the writer, and I know you go into it in a lot more detail in your book. We only have a couple of minutes left today. Before we finish up, I just want to give you an opportunity, two things. One, I'm going to give your book another plug, The Actor. And for anybody who hasn't read The Four Agreements, I think I have it up here on my shelf over here. If you haven't read The Four Agreements, get that as well. Get both of those books. But the newer one of The Actor, it's part of a series. Before we finish up, Don Miguel, do you have any final words for our listeners today?
Oh, definitely, yes. I know that all humanity is struggling for what is happening right now. Then, as an actors, let's adapt to the circumstances and let's get together with other actors and do the best we can to be better and to help. We don't need to put resistance. No, we need to adapt because let's understand, like many others, this virus will stay in humanity, will not disappear. It will evolve. Yes, but we also evolve. We humans evolve and we readapt. And the moment will come that we have an equilibrium and no longer will be a problem. Of course, that for that to happen, it will take more people who's gonna die. It will be, the grief of all of us because we are losing.
Right.
We are losing not just the people who die, but we are losing jobs. We are losing business. But we can adapt in because the stage change. If we no longer can have this kind of business, we can create something new. And we have to embrace our pain, be better, overcome, and instead of acting like a victim, let's act as a hero. That we face whatever problem life brings to us, we overcome, and the end will be always better and better and better. Then
All right.
please take that into your heart and share it, give it.
That's a great message. Don Miguel, thank you very much for joining us today. Make sure to get his book. And I want to thank everybody for listening. And I want to wish everybody stay safe and wish everybody great success in their life. We'll talk to everybody soon.
All
Take
my
care.
blessings.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.